Frederick Tan on Abzan Samwise, sitting at 6-1, and John Barber on Eldrazi Ramp. So you're probably wondering, but why aren't we watching the undefeated players? Well, you know, we want to see something different, okay? And there was a cat, so I got my way.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, the undefeated players are already locked up for day 2, as are these players.
Yeah.
So no matter what, we'll be seeing these gamers. But, you know, dinner always tastes a little bit better when you win those 2 last matches. Even if you start 7-0, 7-2 is a great record. But if you lose the last 2, it feels like you O2'd your event, you know?
Got a Gilded Goose on the battlefield here to kick things off. On the other side, Utopia Sprawl naming red for John Barber.
Yep.
So gonna look to get some ramping done as Malevolent Rumble chucks some stuff into the bin. Let's see, what can we bring back here?
Plethora of options here. The amazing add 2 mana lands as well as the World Breakers. Hard to not want to pick up one of the powerful lands here of the Ugin's Labyrinth.
I think his entire deck is in a different language.
Yes. Gotta love, you know, that is the one thing I love about Paper Magic. I mean, Paper Magic is the best way to play Magic. It's not close, you know. Anyone who disagrees, they're wrong.
Arena gamers cry out.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I love people expressing their own individuality when it comes to their deck. If they like foils, foreign cards, all that kind of stuff is really cool. So looking at John's list here, this is the Gruul version, kind of what we saw from Fernando at the last RC that took second. 2 Kozilek's returns are going to be great here for game number 1. There's a couple Writhing Chrysalis, and then other than that, just going way, way over the top, trying to finish the game off with Emrakul the Promised End.
Yeah. What's happening up here for Frederick? Let's see. So we got a goose, we got some food. Cracked and shocked.
I'd be scared if I was John when you start doing
you start doing math
there.
on like what, turn 2, 3?
Exactly.
So we could see, there we go, our Temple Garden. Could see Samwise into Seer and Cat. Do we have enough for that? I don't think so.
Shall see. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can do the full combo yet. But we'll see this deck in action. This is definitely not, you know, one of the more popular decks. Solidly in the other category.
Yep.
Verilaz.
Here comes the one of fun of.
Yeah, and you know,
I have never seen this card before in my life.
That is fair. Yeah, being able to give every
don't
card.
think John has either.
I feel like most of us haven't seen this card.
Yeah.
Giving all your cards scavenge.
I don't think that's the important part, though. I think the sacrifice another creature for free is probably what he's there for.
I would think you're right. Just in case all the Seers get Pithing Needled, something like that, you have another sack outlet to be able to sack your cats and get things going. Meanwhile, we do see 2 Cauldron Familiars, Endurance, and Samwise Gamgee in hand.
Yeah, so next turn.
Yeah.
Whee!
I would think we do need... we have the land as well, so yeah.
We're
Frederick
good to go.
Should be all set up.
Locked and loaded, baby. John Barber, on the other hand, though, what can he do against this? You know, you got to break up this combo before it gets cooking.
Yeah, 100%. And there is plenty ways to do it. This is a really fragile combo. You know, any creature-based combo is always pretty easy to interact with. You just got to kill the creatures. But, you know, Eldrazi, decent at interacting when you have commands. And your Kozilek's returns.
Yeah,
your Kozilek's commands and your returns. But outside of that, that's really the only instant speed ways to interact here. So historically, big Eldrazi decks like this have struggled against creature combo.
Sure. This is like an annoying little gnat flying around the head of this massive Eldrazi.
Yes, exactly.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, we got to go for it.
So John very much representing a command here, but it'll just be the case of does it matter? And I would assume it would.
Has it got 6 mana available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yep. So can command for 4. As long as you can command for 3, you can deal with the sock outlet here.
Yeah.
Now, Frederick did also have an endurance, so you could just kind of take it easy, attack for 2, play an endurance, and try to combo next turn when John taps out. But that is assuming that John would tap out.
Yeah. If I'm John, I'm sitting there just waiting to kill anything that hits the board. Okay. In Varol's the Scar Stripe comes. Just 2 whittle points of damage.
Yep, and we'll see it now if Frederick wants to go for it. You know, that is the one nice thing that Frederick has as far as getting ready for this event. Frederick's played against Eldrazi probably hundreds of times. You know, John has not played against Samwise Gamgee very often at all, and you do get that advantage. It's a little minimized when it comes to open deck list. You know, if you're playing against this deck and you just sat down, you know, your opponent's playing an Abzan deck, it could be kind of anything.
Yeah.
But being able to see the combo, you get to look at the deck list, say, hey, I need the Oracle text of like half your cards.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you can figure out what's important in the deck and what to play around. Sweet tattoo there from John, I must say. That looked awesome.
Samwise on the stack. So, Samwise, anytime a non-token creature enters the battlefield, makes a food.
Yep.
Kitty cat is that creature. Varol's eats said kitty cat, and we just wash, rinse, and repeat until players are dead. But now we're going to see the command here to take care of the free sack outlet.
Yep. Looks like it. And still leaving 1 mana available. Of course, you need the 2 colorless to be able to cast the command.
So, exiling Varol's. What is the second mode selected? I wonder. What would you pick?
It all depends on the hand. You know, if you are hustling out an Emrakul next turn, you know, get the spawns out there.
Yeah.
The fact that there is not, that you didn't tap this red mana really would paint a picture to me. I would be like, okay, 100% my opponent has a Kozilek's Return in hand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you max this out. There's no reason not to. But, you know, that is a hint that Frederick should very much put into his brain.
If he's got Cauldron Familiar, we could possibly see that enter, and then use the Goose for the Viscera Seer if that's in hand. I don't know if it was, though.
I don't think it was.
That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, that would be really brutal.
Yeah.
But, you know, if this represented Kozilek's Return is in hand, you could still do some interacting for sure.
Yeah.
But as it stands here, Cauldron Familiar gets a food, turns on the Goose, and you could probably just play another
Kitty?
Another kitty.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's where not playing against the deck is going to come into play. You just think, okay, do I have to respond now? What if I don't? Because the last thing you want to do is be on camera, round 8 of your regional championship, and miss something that's obvious. You know, so John should definitely take his time to figure out what can you do here. And while it's an open deckless tournament, you get to look at it at the beginning of the match, and then you got to just kind of remember.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to just have the list in front of you. So that is a cost here. But I would think here the best way to approach this is don't fire off the Kozilek's Return until the Seer is on the stack, and then you have to do something.
Yeah.
But
so long as there's not a free sack outlet on board, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's Kozilek's Return, so pew, 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 pew. There goes the board.
Yep, and this is with the Samwise Gamgee food trigger on the stack, it looks like.
Yeah. So that the Goose can't make an extra mana, potentially.
Yeah, it does give the Cauldron Familiar the ability to still come back from the graveyard, but that doesn't matter that much, and this should slow down Frederick, you know, a lot here.
Yeah, we did see another copy of Samwise in hand, I believe, as well as another Cauldron Familiar.
Okay.
But having one in the bin, you know, that's pretty decent.
Yep, exactly. And I think I got a glimpse of John's hand. Looks like there was another command, and I want to say a Karn. So John's still got plenty of things to do.
Luckily for Frederick, he's not playing any ovens.
Yeah. But I will say, if John had perfect information like we did, and maybe, you know, has played this matchup a decent amount, I think holding off on the command there would have probably been a little bit better, as you don't have any big risk letting that Cauldron Familiar resolve. But I get wanting to clean up the battlefield, and it was still a solid play. I just think John could have gotten a little bit more value.
This endurance is going to be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Get rid of this graveyard.
Yeah, getting rid of Kozilek's command.
Yeah.
Or Kozilek's return. Too many Kozileks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, getting rid of Kozilek's return before it can come back and be another sweeper is excellent.
Dealing 5? Jeez.
Kozilek's return has been around destroying aggro decks for so very long. It is so brutal to be attacking into a deck that can cast a 3-mana instant speed Pyroclasm, and then it'll still come back when you cast another giant creature. It's such a good card.
Jesus.
Absolutely wrecks Boros Energy right now, you know.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why we saw Fernando do so well with this version just was beating, you know, Boros Energy left and right.
Frederick looks to be counting once again. Overgrown Tomb, just going to enter tapped. No need to shock himself, so Endurance is available to him.
Yep, just going for the Endurance play to get rid of the Kozilek's return, as well as, you know, just putting Samwise Gamgee and Cauldron Familiar into play right now isn't great.
No,
You're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket.
It's like, here, please cost something 7 mana or more.
Yeah. But now you get to play the Kozilek's return, or the Kozilek's command that is all proactive. Be able to draw the cards, do some scrying, as well as putting the spawns down.
Jeez.
Whenever the Eldrazi deck gets to this mode, where they get to do those 2 modes where you're not reacting to your opponent at all, it's usually bad news for every other deck.
If there was a corner, I believe John would be turning it.
Yes.
I believe in you, kitty cats. You can, you will, you shall.
Yeah, and I mean, with Endurance, to be able to deal with the Kozilek's return, we are just 1 seer away from winning the game on Frederick's
seer on top, come on.
Side, if John doesn't have any way to interact.
Yeah. There is that, of course. Pesky opponents
just having
cards. How dare they?
Just having it.
Here comes
Not
Endurance. Doubtless targeting the graveyard of John Barber. So bye-bye cards.
And now we'll see if there is an Emrakul. You know, you want to do this before you draw your cards to play around Emrakul. Still have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana available. So not able to cast Emrakul in any meaningful way. But whenever you pick up the graveyard, pretty good idea what you got in your hand. The classic line, I'm just going to consult my sideboard.
Yes.
No, for no reason.
No reason whatsoever.
Yep.
It's fine.
Making sure I de-sideboarded, you know. And we'll take a look as well. Some of the hits that we have. Damping Sphere, Engineered Explosives, Haywire Might, Chalice. The one thing I'm kind of looking for is a Pithing Needle for the Seer, but I don't see that. But Torpor Orb looks to be excellent.
No Pithing Needle, but having the cat not do anything when it enters, not having the goose do anything when it enters.
Torpor Orb seems like the slam dunk if you can go get that one. Okay. I mean, that play relatively doesn't matter. So if, you know, John doesn't have any more interaction, passes the turn, and Frederick draws the Seer, you got to feel pretty bad because it's pretty face up he has a Karn. You know, if you keep looking at your sideboard, I guess you can do a little bluffing here, but now if there we go. I don't think there is 2 mana available to Torpor Orb, though, so...
Yeah, just the Eldrazi.
Okay.
Okay.
So with the fact that Frederick has 2 pieces of the combo in hand and another cat in the yard, maybe there's some way where you can kind of bait John into sacrificing this crypt and then win with the Cauldron Familiar Hab. This is all thinking that we top deck the Seer.
Yeah,
you know?
That would be the best outcome here for Frederick, but now it's a game of cat and crypt.
It was the Visage here. Oh, boy.
Okay.
This will be interesting to watch. And I like Frederick just not thinking about it and jamming this right away. You want to just act fast and really put the pressure on this Tormod's Crypt.
Yeah.
So right now, Frederick's just like, all right, are you going to do it?
Come on.
Yeah.
Nice just poking, goading a little bit. You going to do it? Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually don't think it matters. I actually don't think there's a time that John can interact at this point. Like, because now it's on the stack. You can sack it now if you want. If not, it comes into play and you go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Double kitty.
You got to look back and just think, like, if there was a Torpor Orb in play, how on earth could Frederick do anything?
Yeah. I mean,
so,
gosh. So maybe the Devourer just had to sit back for a turn there?
Yeah, devouring the Endurance there was not that relevant. But once again, this is the aspect and the things that you gain from playing an unknown deck like this.
Yeah.
It's hard to play well against an unknown strategy. A lot of people, they're like, yep, I'm going to play against Eldrazi. I'm going to play against Boros Energy.
Yep.
I'm going to play against Breach, Amulet. Maybe you go down the list and test like your top 5 matchups.
Yep.
Abzan Samwise is farther down than 5, I'll tell you that.
Sure is, but that was awesome to see the combo assembled there. The timely Viscera Seal off the top.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm a big fan of the cat, as you may have noticed. So
Yep.
I'm happy to see that W being picked up as we take a look at the sideboard now. So John's probably going to be scratching his head a little bit like, what do I find here? Torpor Orb is definitely going to be one of the things that he's keen on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is a Karn deck, so John will just kind of look at the list, be like, yes, I'm going to do what I do against every other matchup. Not sideboard much, and try to Karn in. Now, the only cards you really bring in are the Stone Rains. That's really for the Eldrazi Mirror, so probably not going to see that. And some other lists have a bunch of Stone Brains for combos, but as it stands now, maybe you bring in that other Kozilek's Return.
Soulless Jailer as well.
Yeah.
Keep the kitty away.
That's the thing, is every single one of the cards you bring in is a card you can't Karn for. So I'm bringing in the Kozilek's Return for sure. And then it all just comes down to what cards you need to take out.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, World Breakers don't look very good. The Hiragas looks cute, but doesn't really look
Did you just
amazing.
call a 9-mana 6/6 legendary dragon, Eldrazi dragon, cute?
Real cute.
Okay, real
Correction,
cute.
real cute.
Okay, that's acceptable.
And then from Frederick's side, what you want to be bringing in here, I would think Thoughtseizes look pretty decent. Outside of that, there's not a ton. Force of Vigor probably needed to deal with Torpor Orb. Night of Autumn, Skyclave Apparition don't deal with Torpor Orb. If I'm Frederick, that's the card that scares me the most, is that, as it really shuts down basically his entire deck.
Force of Vigor could deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, as our players consult the sideboards, friends, just a reminder that the newest set has just raced into your stores, and if you want to go and order it online, go to starcitygames.com/MTG/Aether to go and play with cars and boats and bikes and whatever else is being driven in this set. I haven't actually looked at any of it, to be honest.
Yeah. It looks pretty sweet. I like the new mechanics. Exhaust looks awesome. I mean, it is just the punniest set I've seen in a while. Get ready for us in the booth for the Pro Tour. I'm going to be dropping them left and right.
Oh,
it's going to be exhausting, let me tell you.
Oh, you're already doing it. Save me. Okay. Right, so that's what you can look forward to in Chicago, friends. As the players now just shuffle up here, getting ready for game number 2. So John Barber has seen what Frederick's deck is doing. He knows what to look out for now. So what's the game plan? What's the ideal opening hand for John?
All of the ideal opening hands for Eldrazi kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Turn 2 Karn is really the best thing you can be doing. Kozilek's Return is going to be really excellent. It basically kills every creature on Frederick's side. I think that'll be the main thing. And then trying to get down that Torpor Orb. But this was the easier game for John, I think, because now the artifact and the enchantment hate come in,
Yeah.
and you don't have just Torpor Orb as this I win card, where, looking at it for game one, it's not fully I win either, as there is, quite a few amount of cards to interact. There's Abrupt Decays, Besejus, Insidious Fungus, some kind of ways to interact, but there's definitely more hate coming in.
It's always fun to see how different players sideboard, because on one hand, you still want to keep your game plan. You don't want to dilute the deck too much.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you're like, I need to answer what my opponent is doing, so...
Yeah, if you don't want to sideboard much, Eldrazi Ramp is the deck for you.
I mean, it's kind of like what Mono Green Devotion was.
In Pioneer?
In Pioneer, yeah.
For sure.
It's just like, I don't care. I don't need a sideboard. I just keep playing the same thing.
And I'm not going to lie. That was my deck in Pioneer. I played a lot of that deck. I loved it. Until they took away Karn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There. It's okay, Corey. You'll be fine. Oh. Viscerous here in hand, I see. Haha. What else you got there, Frederick?
Looks like a lot of lands outside of that, but they are pretty close together. So, a little flooded there.
Gonna send that back. John seems to be happy, question mark. Yeah, I think he's good with his hand.
Yep. Looks solid here. So we'll see. Frederick definitely wants to try to be comboing off, as fast as possible. But it's a tough line here because you don't want to overextend on the battlefield. Kozilek's Return kind of blows you out then.
Yeah.
So, I would think, even though Frederick won game one, this is still a pretty tough matchup for him.
Yeah.
Wants to play against Eldrazi, but doesn't want to play against the Gruul version with Kozilek's Return.
It's going to multi-5. So what's the quickest you could combo? Turn 1 Goose. Turn 2 Samwise into Cat.
Yeah.
Needs a Viscerous here still.
Yeah, I would think turn 3 is the soonest, which, is not that fast of a combo deck.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other kind of Court of Calling lines that you can do, but a solid amount of ways to combo turn 3.
Yeah.
You can Birthing Ritual, which is a way to find you a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I can grab Grist because it's a creature in the deck. The Varrols we saw in the first game. So, a bunch of little one-of fun-ofs, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
The Fungus, there's a Dewdrop Cure we saw in the second hand he drew there, so looks like he's going to keep 5.
Yeah, it is a sweet deck. And some people are just Court of Calling gamers, and they will be playing a Court of Calling deck. It's just, am I playing Yogg? Do I want to play something else? People love those style of decks, that's for sure.
Kicking things off here with a fetch for John Barber. Chuck that into, I think that's a stomping ground. Does he have a...
Utopia Sprawl, probably.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of Birthing Rituals in hands from Frederick, as well as a Goose and the Viscerous here.
Hey, okay. Goose, food, good. Nom 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 nom. Turn passing back now. Thank you for visually indicating that you have chosen red.
Yeah, that is nice. Sprawl. That is very helpful.
Much appreciated.
Okay, so John can kind of have the best possible draw of the turn 2 Karn. Doesn't have it, but...
That was almost.
And didn't even imprint, so doesn't have Kozilek's Return available. So John really doesn't have anything up to interact right now. So Frederick will want to, put the pedal to the metal in whatever way he can, which it looks like you either play... I think we have Cat, Viscerous here, and double Birthing Ritual, and a land. I mean, that's a great hand.
Oh, yeah, because we can chew and get Samwise.
Yeah,
the end step.
I mean, Birthing Ritual is random. So, like, you're looking at the top. Yeah, it's the
top
7.
Top 7, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you still have to get lucky, in air quotes, to find what you want.
Yeah. That's not the worst, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that even if Frederick were to... Birthing Ritual into the right card that we could get it done, because you can only play one combo piece and a ritual, and then you can ritual into second combo piece. I guess if you put a Cauldron Familiar down, sacrifice that to put it into the yard, and play ritual, you still need 2 combo pieces. Yeah. So this is Frederick saying, what's the best way I can set this ritual up? And it's probably by saccharine Cauldron Familiar with a ritual, but we'll see what Frederick does.
Yeah.
I am no birthing ritual expert, I must say.
Me neither.
But I would assume Cauldron Familiar is coming into play.
Oh, Seer.
Perfect. I'm wrong.
Okay. We're going to perhaps then... Okay, let's see. Do we find a Samwise? Are we eating the goose? We must be eating the goose then, right?
Yeah, you get to actually look and then...
And then decide, yeah, you don't have to sacrifice first, then whiff, potentially.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're like, we want to make a birthing ritual or a birthing pod card, but birthing pod was way too good. So where's the perfect line? And just sacrificing something, looking at the top 7 doesn't seem great. So they gave it a little extra boost here, which I like.
Birthing pod was just eat and go and find a thing, right?
Exactly. Just always one more than the mana value.
Nice.
It led to some degenerate combos, to say the least.
You don't say. All right, so Cauldron Familiar, Viscera Seer on the board, Birthing Ritual 2.
So the
Comes
ability
another Labyrinth.
to have 5 mana available. No imprints here so far. Okay.
Writhing Chrysalids. Yay! The
Okay.
bane of Modern Horizons 3 Limited.
A playable common in
Very,
that set.
yes.
Yeah.
Barely playable.
No, a playable card. Not barely playable. It was playable.
Yeah, this thing's nuts. By the way, it has reach, so don't send your flappers in thinking that you'll be fine. No, it'll eat them. It'll eat them. Yep.
Fernando did say he got quite a few Tamios that jumped into Cripplus's tentacles. Yeah. So it does look like John is representing a really, really nice Kozilek's return here.
Mm-hmm. What's that? 1, 2, 3.
But also, like, when do you time it? Do you time it with the ritual on the stack? You know, like, you can play Samwise Gamgee and then you have to interact right away. So we're going to put the pressure on right now and see if John has it. If John doesn't have it, just game over right now.
Yeah. That is potentially a GG here, so needs to find a way to get one of these pieces off the board.
Yeah,
Or Fred's going to pick it up.
Samwise Gamgee has been really helping out Frederick and Frodo historically. Yeah.
Do we have a food? We need a creature to enter there still, don't we? Yeah,
Yes.
it's another one. It's not him.
Yeah, with not having a food in play already, isn't able to do it right now, but by sacrificing
the cats
at end step, any creature you find off the ritual would get it done. So, but this does allow this amazing Kozilek's return here.
All right. Cool. So that takes care of that. Viscera Seer gets a couple scries in before everything goes die-die.
Yep, and gotta be looking great here from John. And I think I see a Karn again. We'll see if we get that Torpor Orb in there this time. Just does nothing if you don't have a creature here, but double check in.
Are you allowed to look anyway? If you control a creature.
If you control a creature, yeah.
Okie dokie. Just asking the judge something here, clarifying.
Yep, and I think it's the scenario, not 100%, but if John were to say go to end step, the trigger would go on the stack, then you would get to look. But I would assume we did this at the end of second main, first main, something like that.
Yeah. All right, so John Barber has everything looking pretty good for him at this point.
Yep. I mean, so far, these Kozilek's returned.
Yeah, they've been nuts.
This is the matchup for them. I mean, every creature is 2 toughness that has any relevance from Frederick's side, so...
Less than 2.
Yep.
They're just babies.
Yeah, just absolutely a brutal card. And now, if the Bajuka Bog's still in the deck, you can search that up, get rid of it.
There it is. Bye-bye, graveyard. I would be scooping at this point.
Yeah, not just Amulet's toy there with that Bajuka Bog. It is a land that is very, very good against a wide variety of decks, mainly for Breach, being able to play that for 6 mana, destroy one of your opponent's land, and get a Bajuka Bog, ends up being really, really strong.
Yuck. All right, well, I imagine Frederick's going to take a couple more peeks. Maybe sack a kitty cat and see what he can get going here.
Yeah.
It's not looking great, though.
Not looking great, but, this style of creature combo deck, I mean, you can win kind of out of nowhere, Playing a cat, getting it into the graveyard, finding Samwise Gamgee off this ritual.
Yeah.
You're pretty close already, so.
Second birthing ritual now. So how does it work with two of them down?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask.
Oh, well, we're going to learn
find
together.
Out. I would assume they both go on the stack one after the other. You look at the top 7, then sack Cauldron Familiar. If you put one of those creatures into play, then you resolve the second one.
Sure.
Would be my guess, but we will find out.
We will find out, friends.
Every time I see one of these birthing rituals, I blow it up with a Haywire Might and then, be on my way. But
well, I don't think Samwise is going to get sacrificed here. At least I'd hope not. Okay.
I would think not.
I get to have a look at a couple more cards in the deck here. Knight of Autumn, we saw.
And then you may sacrifice. Otherwise, they're just going on the bottom of your library. I would also assume that that is the one creature you want to keep in play.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Probably won't survive very long, considering the amount of mana John has available and the average mana value of his spells.
Yeah. Now, I would say that, if John doesn't have a good follow-up here, sending the turn back to Frederick with 2 rituals and a Samwise Gamgee in play would be terrifying. So, it will definitely still be on John to be able to do something, as John's got a 2-turn clock, but that won't be enough more than likely.
Because all he needs then is to play the Viscerous Seer, get the food, cat comes out, and then done.
Yeah, find the Viscerous Seer, but even if you, played a Goose.
That's an hand.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then absolutely all rolled up. But even if, Frederick just had a Goose, you'd play a Goose, get 2 food, then you'd have 14 looks at a Viscerous Seer to be able to win. But yeah, if we already got the Seer all wrapped up, then John better have something to interact here. But once again, if we have Karn, which he picked up his sideboard a little bit earlier, Karn, I'll say it again, Torpor Orb looks insane to me.
Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb. That's a hard word to say. Torpor Orb.
Yeah.
Too many of the same syllable sounds.
I do love that art there.
It is cool, yeah.
It is a sweet one.
So pretty. Alrighty. What you got, John? Dippity tap. All of his crap. Oh, Kozilek's Command. Okay.
Okay.
Gonna get rid of Mr. Gamgee over there.
So that is a command for 4, which that's +4/+4 to Writhing Chrysalis, which that's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's just math.
Well. To game 3 we go.
Yeah, that's a little better than Karn when you can win the game on the
Yeah.
spot.
Who needs
so.
a Planeswalker?
And we see the players exchanging the deck list, get one more refresher. I think Frederick is looking like, yep, you're going to do the exact same thing again.
Let's take a look at the sideboards here, just refresh our memories as well. What else could we attempt here with the lists?
Yeah, I don't think anything is really changing from John's side. I still really only like Thoughtseize and Force of Vigor. But the thing is, with this style of deck, where you are very much a creature combo deck, you need to have a lot of creatures to then tap them sideways for Court of Calling or sack them for Birthing Ritual. You can't really over-sideboard. This is the type of deck where if someone's like, all right, I want to bring in 8 cards, your deck's just not going to be as efficient. But there's a lot of one-ofs that you can get rid of. If I was Frederick and I didn't see a Pithing Needle, I'm probably taking out that one of Varalaz. That's how you say it.
Varos.
Okay. Yep. I'm probably taking out that. The Orcish Bowmasters don't look that exciting. Take out some of the one-of fun-ofs you don't really need, and then just submit your core of the deck, which is 4 cats, 4 Viscerous Seer, 4 Samwise Gamgee, 4 Goose, and kind of all the tutors, and try to be as fast of a combo deck as possible before John has the ability to have up all these Kozilek's return.
Players shuffling up there. We'll get into game 3 here shortly. 15 minutes left on their clocks. It is cool to see that almost everything is playable in Modern. Well, maybe not everything, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
The regional championship here this weekend, Star City Games, brought to you by Star City Games and sponsored by Beckett and Dragon Shield. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring this event and the events for the rest of the year. So if you are looking to get your cards graded, go to Beckett. If you want to keep them safe and sling some spells, Dragon Shield is the way to go.
All right, so big game 3 for these players. 2 rounds left, 6-1. Already doing great in the tournament. Already locked up day 2. But if you go into day 2 at 6-3, you got to have one heck of a day on day 2 to be able to make the top 8. You got to XO, and still there's a chance you don't make it. So, you know, X and 2 is really where you're live.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating, and it's very difficult, but these tournaments are so gigantic.
Yeah.
Where if you go 6-3 in a over 1,000-person tournament, it's not even, you know, that great because you got to have one heck of a day 2. But that's to top 8. Now, to get a Pro Tour invite, you're still sitting perfectly fine. But, of course, all these players would like to be making it to the elimination rounds.
Hell yeah. I'd like to go home with $20,000.
I would, too.
10 would be,
Yeah.
you know, very, very nice, too, obviously.
And that's the thing. 20K up top, 10K for second.
Yeah.
But then making it to Worlds, that's a lot of equity as well, you know? I mean, I think last year, last place was $4,000. So automatically 14 and 24 is kind of the way you can look at it. Plus, you can win, you know, it was $1 million tournament last year. You could win $100,000. Yeah, if Javier ever wants to share his title, yeah.
Well, you know, we do need a 3-time world champion. We haven't gotten that yet. In
That's
Magic,
fair.
So.
That's fair. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we have 2 2-timers.
Yep, you are totally right. Looks like John's taking a mulligan here, and Frederick's keeping. And I would be worried as the Eldrazi deck being on the draw. Like, I'd want to be mulliganing to a turn 2 Kozilek's return. Yeah. Or, you know, some other aggressive start like that. But if you're just going, you know, turn 3 Kozilek's command, turn 2 Talisman type thing, that's probably not enough against a creature combo deck that just snap kept 7.
Yeah, that is terrifying. It's like, oh, cool. So that tells me, you know, combo is in hand, or at least, you know, missing one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And, I mean, that is this Abzan Samwise combo, you know, pretty much laid out. It's all the combo pieces and ways to find the combo piece. So it is a very aggressive deck for sure.
It's an underworld reach. 2 in hand. Wow. Okay. Well, that'll definitely help.
2 of them, surprisingly, is not that good.
Yeah, for sure.
The second one gets to be a little awkward, as if you want to keep one after the first one, you're keeping that one on top, and then you got to still do it again.
Yeah.
You know, so it has some diminishing returns, but it really helps you find the cards you need. Yeah. And get rid of the ones you don't, for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's Emrakul, Talisman, potentially a land.
All right.
Another Talisman, Rumble. All right.
Yeah, get some information there, you know, if you're Frederick.
Windswept Heath to kick things off. Crack, go find a thing. What you chuckling at?
I believe that is a Dryad Arbor.
Yes,
as the first land.
Sure.
That hasn't went wrong for anybody else on the broadcast, right?
No, not at all.
Now, John does have a lot less spot removal to be able to deal with that on turn 1.
Yeah,
but,
no much of otherworldly light this time around.
Didn't go great for Peter last round, that's for sure.
Dryad Arbor. What? No, Peter, the Dryad Arbor. He got exiled, man.
Yes.
It's okay, though. He's back.
Yeah, we'll be able to use that for mana this time around.
Yay. Good job, bud.
Now, the one thing that is pretty nice with that is if you have a turn 2 ritual, birthing ritual, you can sack the land.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really want to be doing that, but it's an action you can take.
Game actions, yay. Sometimes you don't want to take them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's reasonable, because if you just, play Samwise Gamgee here, and John untaps, plays land 3 and Kozilek's return, and you only have 1 land going into your 3rd turn, you feel pretty bad, so.
Well, the Arbor's 0, right?
Yeah, so you can just get a 1-drop.
So Kitty or Viscera here.
Yep. Or a Goose.
Yeah, true. Goose would help catch up because you are
Yeah.
losing a mana here. So
There we go.
there is our honky boy. Makes a food. And next turn then, we want Sam. We want Cat. I don't think we can get Sam, Cat, and Seer.
No, but we could get Sam into Cat, sack the Cat into Seer, win the game.
There is that. Yeah, sure.
Yep. And we see Sam in hand.
There could also be a Kozilek's Return
Yeah.
on the other side of things here.
Okay. Goes with it.
Wow, that was some fried goose right there.
That was really aggressive.
That was. He's just like, I'm not letting you do anything.
I'm not necessarily saying it was wrong or anything, but it doesn't look like Frederick's hand has a lot of options. So if Frederick just went land, Samwise Gamgee, you're like, perfect. Before end step, before the ritual, then deal with it.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure there is some ways that line could be a little greedy.
Mm-hmm. Green Sun Zenith. I'm going to go find a 1-drop here. Goose is back.
Okay.
Flap, flap.
Now you get to sack the goose, see what you're going to find.
This card is silly.
The ritual?
The ritual, yeah.
It is quite fun.
Yeah.
I like that they had Collected Company to look at 6 cards and they're like,
Yeah.
you know what? We want to give you a little bit better odds here. Give them a 7th card.
Yeah. You don't get 2 things, but you get 1 extra
Yeah,
look.
exactly. And I mean, that used to be a thing a lot in these creature combo decks, was Collected Company.
Mm-hmm.
You say go with 4 mana available, and you're like, what could I possibly
what
have?
could you possibly have?
And then you try to find combo pieces, and then you quarter calling during your turn to complete the combo.
Right.
But these kind of creature combo decks look a lot different right now. And they do struggle a little bit these days. We saw a big decline in these style of creature combo decks because, well, removal is very good right now.
Yeah.
I mean, one mana removal is aplenty in the most popular decks, in Breach and in Boros Energy. And you see Kozilek's Return in the 3rd most popular deck. So creature combo decks are under a lot of duress, to say the least.
They're brave.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Certainly trying their luck here this weekend and hoping to dodge the Galvanic Discharges, the Fatal Pushes, the Kozilek's Returns. And we do see Kitty Cat on the board here now. We got 2 lands and 3 lands in Samwise in hand. Still missing a sack outlet.
Yep, but could play Samwise next turn, sack the Cat, find the Viscioseer, and be all good to go.
Yep.
And to be honest, normally this for
Sowing Mycospawn.
yeah, this for Bojuka Bog would be powerful, but it doesn't look like that it will actually do anything. It got rid of the Temple Garden, which great, but from what I'm seeing, this looks like Frederick is going to be able to play Samwise Gamgee next turn and is going to have 7 looks at the win. But, okay, that's a Ghost Quarter.
Oh, we're going to blow some lands,
Yeah,
eh?
one thing John will always be doing is when he looks at a deck list, be like, how many basics you got?
Yeah.
And there is 1 forest. So, I mean, you can either go for the blind Ghost Quarter and hope the forest is in hand, but I don't see it in the graveyard, so it's not a great plan. So from what I'm seeing, Frederick has 7 looks at the game here. You didn't want to draw it there. That is when you didn't want to draw it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because that is actually not where you wanted it. That's why I didn't say 8 looks at it, because you really didn't want to draw it during your draw step.
Oh.
So now the amount of outs he has just very much diminished. And this is probably a Ghost Quarter within draw step.
Yeah.
So there's no thing like, all right, float mana, play Viscioseer and Samwise Gamgee, anything like that. So
Yeah,
that was actually the worst possible draw.
Yeah. It's like you did the right thing in game 1. Okay,
Yes.
you didn't need to do it again. Now you're just being an attention seeker.
There we go.
So only a forest, but we do have Godless Shrine as the
Yup.
land for turn. So Samwise, Cat, Seer, Hope.
I mean, you can't play the Seer. You don't have enough mana.
No, but like eating the kitty cat, because it's
Oh
food.
yeah. You Samwise eat the cat and try to find Viscioseer. You
Yeah.
got 7 looks at it.
Let's
Is
see.
it
Do we find
there?
it? Yeah.
That's not it.
That's
Nope.
not it. Doesn't have it.
Throws the cat into the graveyard, trying to find the seer. Doesn't find it.
Well, cat's still around, so
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna give it a. Is there anything else he would want? I don't.
The Wall of Roots there, I'm still taking.
Wall of Roots, not too bad.
The cat in the graveyard is fine. I
Yeah.
guess there is some consideration to not sacrificing it, so it's not vulnerable to Bajuka Bog.
Yeah.
But
There's 2 foods on the board though, so
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you can just bring it back at any point.
Yeah.
Plus, you're getting a 3rd food here.
nice.
Now, you also unlock Samwise Gamgee's extra ability.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
returning a historic permanent. Right?
Exactly. From the graveyard to your hand. I don't see
Okay.
any in the
Nah.
yard anyways, but
I don't. That text you just scratched out with a Sharpie at this point.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really do much in this deck.
This match has been cool.
This has been pretty sweet.
Just watching John figure out, okay, what is important here? What do I care
Yeah.
about? How do I kill you before you do any more dumb things?
Yeah, very tough matchup to play against. You
Yeah.
know?
It's always complicated, We saw since the cat and the oven have been printed,
Yeah.
the iterations thereof and all the different formats, you always need to know what the heck your opponent is doing, what they're playing towards. So now we're gonna see the this is Devour Broface, Devour of Destiny take care of a permanent.
And this is great because the Kozilek's return's coming back on the stack, so the Ritual's gone, the Wall of Roots and Samwise Gamgee are gone, and now you gotta rebuild.
Bye-bye, Ritual. Sadness goes in the stack.
So Frederick can do, bring back a cat, let it die, then bring it back again, something like that. But
Yeah, that seems like what he's going to be doing here.
Yeah.
Gain and drain.
it's free. You get the food back, so you might
Yeah.
as well. And now with just the seer, at this point, Frederick needs to just top deck another Samwise Gamgees.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, that is potentially a Samwise.
That's 7 looks at Samwise Gamgee.
Goodness me. He's been top decking like a frickin' pro here.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, Frederick's deck all just kind of circles around to itself. So.
Yeah.
Okay, the nice thing you can do here, too, is you give yourself more than 7 looks. You get to bring back a cat,
Yeah.
sack it, and then scry if you
Yeah.
see. Okay, didn't want to go for it.
Oh, was that 2 seers?
I thought it was a Samwise Gamgee. and there it is.
Hey, alrighty. Found it.
Oh, my.
GG.
Wow.
That's it. Abso-freaking-lutely fantastic. Frederick 10. That
Wow.
was sick.